Hello, I'm Angela Ferguson. I'm a local immigration attorney, and I'm a member of All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church, so thank you for having us out here at Shawnee Mission UU. I'm on the board of the Advocates for Immigrant Rights. You just heard from Carla, our executive director, and I'm a member of the AILA, the American Immigration Lawyers Association. I've been doing immigration legal work, for about 37 years. And I can tell you that I've seen a lot of changes. That's one of the reasons I love this work, is because it's always changing. It keeps you on your toes, but it also is complicated and makes life a little difficult sometimes. I was asked to speak to you about the immigration legal experience. I hear all the time, why don't they just come legally? Well, oftentimes it's because there's no legal avenue, or two, they just simply don't have a clue what our immigration laws are in the United States. Three, they might be fleeing violence in their home countries. They may be coming in on a visitor visa and to check things out, and they decide to stay. And then there are folks that come here being sponsored by family members or by employers. There's all different kinds of ways and reasons people arrive in the United States. And sometimes it's very complicated to fix what has happened. I'm supposed to talk to you about our immigration violations, the laws that are being violated under this current changes in our administration and in our immigration laws. Well, let's just start with a very easy one. The forms changed after this administration took office because there was an executive order that decided that there are only two sexes, only male and female. Cannot be anything in between. And that box on the forms that says other gender has to be eliminated because there can only be male and female. And so the forms changed overnight. No replacement forms available, no phase-in period. So applications that we had prepared and were filed and were in the mail were then rejected when they were received by immigration, returned back to us by mail, had to be redone and sent back in again. We're trying to keep the post office alive, That's one way that DOJ is trying to keep that postal service alive. I don't know. Anyway, it was very complicated for a week. It threw everyone into a flurry. Another change that has happened with this administration is the executive order on expedited removal. So when someone is in the United States and approached by an ICE officer, they can be asked how long they've been here. Well, if the person has gone through one of our great Know Your Rights trainings that AIR does, they will know to keep silent. But if someone cannot prove to an ICE officer, doesn't choose to keep silent, and admits that they have no proof that they've been here for more than 2 years, they can be taken into custody immediately, not eligible for a bond, not eligible to see an immigration judge, but they can be put on a bus or a plane for expedited removal. It used to only happen within 100 miles of the border of the United States. And now with this order, this executive order that Mr. Trump did, it has been expanded nationwide. So just think about this. People have to carry around proof of their time in the United States. Take a look in your purse or wallet and see what document you could pull out to show that you've been here more than 2 years. Well, hopefully you got your driver's license more than 2 years ago, but immigrants oftentimes are not eligible for driver's licenses. So just take a look and see what you got. And if you don't have proof that you've been here more than 2 years, ICE might be outside to pick you up for an expedited removal. Another violation that is happening under our current immigration laws is removal to third countries. So normally you're only able to be removed to your home country or any country where you've obtained legal status. Well, under this administration, they have taken a plane load of Venezuelans to El Salvador, and they're in prison there, to Guantanamo Bay. They've taken this week deportees from Vietnam, right? They're Vietnamese people who have deportation orders. The Vietnamese country, Vietnam, will not accept them back, and they have been taken to South Sudan in violation of a federal judge's order. Who knows what else is happening, but we know in the news there's stories of permanent residents who have been taken into custody simply for opposing this administration and accidentally. In my experience with deportations down at the border, accidentally some U.S. citizens get deported, and it's happening now more often. One thing that is also happening is protected places no longer exist. So churches, ICE can come in. Schools, they can go in. And court. So ICE has this past week started going to immigration court. And when there's an order dismissing deportation against someone, or an order of deportation after they've had their trial, as they leave the courtroom, ICE is there to pick them up. This shows some really great cooperation between the ICE trial attorneys and the ICE officers. They work on the same side. That's fine. They're not supposed to be cooperating and plotting, strategizing with the immigration judges. And they are separate departments, and we're going to see some lawsuits over the cooperation that's taken place. This is where AIR volunteers have been this week, sitting in doing court watch to make sure that this doesn't happen here in Kansas City. We were down there 3 days this week. The judges here are being more cautious. They are not terminating deportation cases and allowing ICE to take the person from the courtroom. It happened 3 times last week, and the judges decided they're not going to cooperate in that way with ICE. So they're helping us. We were there to watch and make sure that they would not do it. But ICE was hanging around the courthouse. We need people to help us with watch until we can get this policy changed. So if you're interested, talk with Carla after this presentation today. I was finally asked to speak about the resources that are available to help people who are going through the removal process or needing immigration help. Of course, AIR is here. We accompany people to court and help them with their bonds. We do stuff with AIR that other organizations don't do. We do not do legal work for folks. So here's the agencies here locally that are doing legal work. The Asylum Clinic of Kansas City helps people prepare their asylum applications, and they also represent unaccompanied minors. There's about 4 agencies here locally, Jewish Vocational Services, Della Lamb, Mission Adelante, and Catholic Charities that do immigration work. But, and people could get some lower cost assistance on their immigration paperwork through one of those agencies. But each one of those agencies is experiencing layoffs right now because the federal funding for their agencies has been cut, and they're all struggling. And other than that, people have to rely on self-help, TikTok, notarios, and the goodwill of people around them who try to help. So, you know, I really appreciate the testimony and the stories of the 2 core civic officers that are here and brave enough to tell their stories. When Core Civic opens up in Leavenworth, and I do believe that they will be opening up, they're going to have 1,000 beds, And that means 1,000 beds that they're going to be filling. That means raids are going to happen, and these arrests in the neighborhoods are going to be happening more all around us. So we are going to all need to pull together to help defend our beloved neighbors and people who deserve to be treated with dignity and humanity and provide the protection that they need from some of the situations and wars and crises that they experience in their own countries. So thank you for your interest and support, and we'll see you in court.